Poo in our pants, Billie Eilish is back, a winner goes home, and some devious idol shenanigans. What's up, guys? My name is Devin, and I'm the host of Let's Play Survivor. Back with another video. In this episode, I will be discussing my ups and downs from week 2 of Survivor 50. Starting off the video with our first up, Christian is the star of episode 2.
You're not going to want to see this. I promise you do not want to see this.
But also the sheer and utter embarrassment of unexpected gastrointestinal distress. All things I thought could happen on this show, I didn't expect to have an unexpected evacuation. It's a dark cloud, let's just say, in my life at the moment. I'm dead. My wife is going to divorce me.
This was a really fun episode for Christian. He had a lot of character moments, but also a lot of gameplay moments as well. This showed him in a very favorable light. We start off the episode with him having gastrointestinal distress. From that all the way to rocking Joe in the hammock like a child, which I thought was a lot of fun. It was very interesting to watch. Joe very much looked like a baby in the hammock. He even looked like he was pouting with his arms crossed and his bottom lip sticking out. And then on the gameplay side, he found the boomerang idol, which he gave to Aubrey, which we will be discussing later on in the video. Not just this, but him and Rick Devens concocting the plan for the theatrics at Tribal Council. This was a great episode for Christian, not just as a game player. He is a very good game player, but he has so many character moments, which is what makes him so likable and so lovable. And not to shadow over all of that, but he is playing a phenomenal game so far. He seems to be in a very good spot alongside Emily and Rick Devens as kind of the trio running the Sela tribe. Seems as though Cirie is a fourth in that alliance, which hasn't really been touched on super heavily, but it kind of seems as though it's there. Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun watching Christian on the season. I'm excited to see how he continues to play and can integrate amongst this cast of legends once we have the tribe swap in episode 3. For the second moment in the ups category, I'm going with rivalries are back.
I'm playing this game like I've always played it for 101 frickin' days.
I think he is playing the game like he's always played it, at least the last time I played it with him.
I have not stopped loving Joe as a human being. I am over it with him as a game player. You're a Survivor player, bro. We're allowed to lie and backstab.
I'm just repeating what you're telling me. You're twisting my... If you don't have any time for me, that's one
about
thing.
time for you. It's like
2 episodes into Survivor 50, and we have seen seeds planted for a couple different rivalries. We have the continuation of Coach versus Ozzy. It was funny to me because Coach did not let Kyle have his moment. He gave the other players no opportunity to be emotional there as they sat on the barge ahead of the reward challenge. And in Coach fashion, he made it all about himself. This is going to be a very intense rivalry that we have into the season. I'm curious to see who between these two comes out on top. Coach won the last time. He didn't win the season, but he won the rivalry. I am interested to see who between these two can end up winning the war that is Survivor 50. The next rivalry we have is a smaller one, but I feel like there were small seeds planted for it as well, which is Genevieve and Aubrey. Aubrey was very intimidated by Genevieve in episode 1. And then we come into episode 2. Aubrey's very much on the out. She's very much on the bottom, and she knows it. And watching Genevieve kind of control the plan to dig into Aubrey's bag. And I feel like there was more seeds planted by Genevieve going through Aubrey's belongings and her being the person who, as we could see, generated that idea. There's something about these two. I feel like they have very similar thought processes in game, but Genevieve is a much more confident player and integrates herself much better in the social part of the game. So I don't know, this is another one where I feel like they wouldn't show it to us if there wasn't some kind of blow off later on down the road. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know if that'll be a Aubrey coming out on top with her idol, or if it'll just be Genevieve kind of taking over and controlling the game and Aubrey being her first big casualty. So So yeah, like I said, I'm not sure what the blow-off of this will be, but I do feel like it will be significant. Otherwise, why would they be showing it to us? And then third, we have the Rick Devens versus Joe Hunter, Sela beef. These are two very completely different players. Rick Devens plays very chaotically, runs around like a chicken with his head cut off, whereas Joe Hunter plays very old school, very grab your allies and march to the end. These are two completely different players, and I had a lot of fun watching them argue on the beach right before the Sela Tribal Council. I'm a big Savannah Louie fan, so I kind of wish Rick Devens would have took the swing at Joe and saved her. But it's nice to see a little bit of bad blood, and as there should be. This is the grandest stage in Survivor history, and I want to see some passion. I want to see these guys fighting for what they believe in. I don't know if this rivalry will be as big as the two I mentioned previously, but it's still very fun to watch. My third mention in the up category, Vaatu is so fun.
My job in the bag search was be the lookout. I'm the guy, when the police arrive, I gotta notify everybody. Woo-hoo! It wasn't just me. We had Kobe looking down the trails. We had Stephanie on the beach having a conversation. Aubrey did not know what was happening. We had Genevieve dumping things out, and she's an attorney. Genevieve's gonna find that thing. She gonna sniff it out.
And we find nothing.
I know this is a silly one, but I very much enjoy every moment we see of the Vaatu tribe for Survivor 50. This is really the perfect collection of players. There's probably two who I don't super love on this tribe, but as far as Q, Genevieve, Colby, and Rizzo, I've become very interested in everything that they do on screen. We haven't seen a whole lot of gameplay out of them. We do have a general understanding of the tribe dynamics, but this tribe has become a lot of fun, and we've seen a lot of silly moments out of them, which I feel like you're going to get, especially out of somebody like Q. And so, yeah, I don't have many notes on this one, but I have very much enjoyed and am rooting for the majority of the Vaatu tribe. That will segue me into my next point on the ups and downs category. Coming in with our first down on the list, Kahlo is so boring.
I love the water. I love the fact that we get to do this in Fiji, and what a blessing it is. And on top of me having a great time, I'm making my tribe think that I'm a one-dimensional player. But this time I'm playing a little different.
Yeah, the Blue Tribe in Survivor 50, they just really are not doing it for me. And I know it's not their fault. It is a little bit restricted based on them not going to Tribal Council or having really any dynamics that were necessary for us to see in the first two episodes. But this tribe's just not doing it for me. I like what I'm seeing out of Jonathan. I feel like he has a very strong screen presence so far, and we're getting a lot of good content out of him. He might be the player on that tribe with the least amount of charisma, and that is no disrespect. That's not really the category that he fulfills as far as that tribe. We have Dee, we have Tiffany, we have Camilla, we have Charlie, we have Mike White. We're not really seeing much of anything out of these guys, and I know there's fun character moments that we could be seeing similar to what we've seen on the Vaatu tribe, but we're getting none of it. Hopefully this tribe shakeup going into episode 3 will allow some of those players to shine a little more than they did previously, especially as someone who is a big Dee and Camilla fan. Dee much more than Camilla, but these are some players that I was very excited to see how they could evolve in their second chance, and so far 2 episodes in, we're not really seeing much of that. My next up, Aubrey receives the Boomerang Idol.
This is the Billie Eilish Boomerang Idol. Here,
What do I do?
There's lots of possibilities here. I could give this idol to someone else who could help me in the long run, to help ensure that they make a swap or a merge where I'm there. It's tough, but I think
I know what to do.
Congratulations. Someone wanted you to have this idol. Maybe this is the momentum I need right now. Maybe this is a sign that this could go differently. Hell yeah. Game on.
Keep in mind that Christian does not know the dynamics on the Vaatu tribe outside of some possible pregame conversations. He doesn't know what's actually happening since they've been on the beach for 6 days. Aubrey is absolutely the right person to give this idol to. She is on the bottom, so there is a high likelihood that she will use it, or if she doesn't play it right, she could go home with it in her pocket. Not only that, I feel like this kind of gives a little more fire into the Genevieve and Aubrey rivalry that we are having currently. I almost put this in the down category because I'm not rooting for Aubrey in this season, but the more I think about it, I have to put this in the up due to the possible ramifications that it can have long-term on the game and the chaos that we could possibly see from this Boomerang Idol moving forward. Next in our ups category is Cirie receives her first advantage.
I gotta keep my girl safe, so I'll give you the extra vote.
I appreciate that, Ivy. I appreciate that. I can't believe that Ozzy's giving me his extra vote. That almost brought me to tears. I have played 5 seasons of Survivor, and I've never officially had my own advantage. But I do now, thanks to Ozzy. This couldn't have worked out any better for me.
So this is another one I don't have many notes on, but I did want to touch on it in this week's video. Cirie receives her first Survivor advantage across 6 seasons of Survivor. This relationship she has developed with Ozzy is one that I feel is going to be paramount later on down the road. I love that Ozzy is putting all of his trust into Cirie and is giving her these tools. She is the strategic mind between the two. He even admitted it in this episode. He just doesn't have the strategic chops that she does, and for him to be able to give her one of his advantages so she could utilize it in the best of their both interests, I thought was a lot of fun. And as an interesting wrinkle, Cirie has screwed over Ozzy before. Will she do it again? Next up in our down category, another unanimous tribal council vote.
Third person voted out of Survivor 50, Savannah. That's 4, that's enough. Need to bring me your torch.
Good luck, you guys. I'm sorry, this has just been like the best experience. Like, thank you so much for everything.
Been a pleasure to have you out here, Savannah. All right, you ready for this?
No, but it's okay.
Savannah, the tribe has spoken.
This tribal council was kind of built up in several different ways. We had the Rick Devens and Joe argument that took place on the beach that showed Joe as a possible casualty for the episode. We had the smoke around Ozzy, but unfortunately Savannah Louie ended up being the 3rd casualty of Survivor 50. The show is showing us a lot of complexities amongst these players, but through 2 tribal councils, it seems to be pretty cut and dry. I don't know if the show is just manipulating the edit to make it seem a lot more interesting than it really is out on the beach. Savannah gave a speech at tribal council which seemed to show that she knew she was going home. I don't know if that's reality. I haven't watched too many of the post-vote-off interviews or any videos since. Yeah, I hope we can get a little more shake-up, a little bit more dynamics that have maybe a 4-3 vote, maybe a 5-2 vote. I'm not going to knock anybody for maintaining their life in the game and playing safe. I'd like to see a little bit more parity in how the votes are being cast, not just complete pile-on like we've seen through 2 episodes. Next in our ups category, I have Rick Devens' idol shenanigans.
Knowing that there are idols in the game right now is incredible. Like, idols are my thing. So many of my moments were around idols, real or fake. And so I want to have some fun with this. I've had a wild idea.
Yeah.
You have the wrapping paper.
Absolutely, it's all on my shoe.
I want to hide a fake at tribal council.
Never in a million years would I have thought of something like this. We have seen in Winners at War where Adam thought there was a hidden immunity idol hidden at tribal council. I'm curious if that is part of the genesis of Rick Devens' idea as to hiding this clue in front of everybody at tribal council. I feel like this is an idea that only Rick Devens can come up with. He is a chaotic player, like I mentioned previously. He lives for the messy, which is fine by me as a fan of the chaos and shenanigans of Survivor. He clearly had been sitting on this idea for quite a while. He seemed to bring it up to Christian fairly quickly. I'm not sure how successful this will be or how they are going to utilize it in their advantage. It seems to be a last grasp move when they could possibly be on the bottom moving forward in the future. Yeah, I don't see the vision, but I love the thought behind it. And yeah, I'm all for the idol shenanigans from Christian and Rick Devens. I'm going to send off this week's episode with one more moment in the down category, and that is a lack of screen time for several players.
Coach, get your head in the game.
I'm in the game. There's nowhere to hide. You're gonna win or lose right here.
Yeah, I'm not going to get too deep into this conversation. I know there's 21 players left. We have a lot of Survivor left to play, but I just hate that we're not getting character moments, not getting gameplay moments from some of the players on this cast. I think there were 5 or 6 players from the last episode who got no confessional time. I'm a Survivor fan who understands that confessional time does not tell the entire story of the Survivor game at hand. But also on top of that, we got very minimal screen time from these players as well. I would have liked to hear, 30 seconds of Camilla's thoughts about her best friend Kyle getting medevac from the game. We got nothing from it. We got a very small emotional moment that was overshadowed by Coach. Give Camilla a confessional. What could it have hurt? We could have got 30 seconds less of Coach dying in the ocean. Again, a fun moment. I would have preferred to see a little more Camilla in that moment. Dee's had maybe 1 or 2 confessionals along the way. I would like to hear more out of her and where she stands in the game. Same thing for Miss Tiffany. It really goes back to the Blue Tribe. They're just not getting a lot of screen time, but these are players who I wanted to see back, and I want them involved in the game, episode to episode, and I don't expect a lot. You can only do it so even. You have to tell a story that is at hand, but with that said, just give these players a little bit more screen time. All right, friends, there you have it. 6 ups and 3 downs from episode 2 of Survivor 50. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and if you haven't already, give the video a like, and please subscribe to the channel. Thank you for everybody who tuned in and watched until the very end. I hope you all enjoyed, and until next time, the tribe has spoken.